In this tutorial, you will learn how to translate and reflect objects. You'll also learn how to define your own custom transformations. First, you'll copy an image of a footprint from the picture gallery that comes with Sketchpad. You'll translate it several times by a vector. You'll see how changing the vector changes the translated pictures. Next, you'll reflect your pictures across a mirror line. Finally, you'll create more natural-looking footprints by defining a custom transformation, in this case a glide reflection, that combines a translation with a reflection. To begin, I'll open a new sketch and choose Help, Picture Gallery. I'll find the picture of the footprint and select and copy the picture and paste it into my sketch. My sketch contains a single footprint. I'd like to create an entire pattern of footprints that resembles what it would look like if I was to walk on the beach. To create this pattern, I'm going to use a combination of translations and reflections. I'll begin with translations. I'll choose the segment tool and draw a short segment that's nearly vertical to the left of my foot. I'll label its endpoints as A and B. Now that I have my segment, I'll choose the arrow tool and click in white space to deselect everything. Next, I'll select, in order, point A and point B. In the Transform menu, I'm going to choose Mark Vector. When I do, watch what happens. A brief animation appeared, moving from point A to point B. This marked my vector. Now a vector is a geometric object that specifies how far and in what direction my picture of the footprint will move. This concept will become clearer when I use the vector to translate my foot. I'll select the foot, go to Transform, and choose Translate. In the dialog box that appears, I'll click Translate. Notice that a new foot appears. It's identical to my original foot, but it's been translated. How far has it been translated? By the distance from A to B. In what direction has it been translated? In the direction from point A to point B. This is my vector. Now I'm going to translate this foot again by the same vector. I'll start with my translated foot selected, go to Transform, and choose Translate. Once again, I'll click Translate. If I repeat this process again, I get 4 right feet, each one which has been translated by the same vector, AB. Let's see what happens when I change my vector AB. If I select just point B and drag it, notice that as the distance and direction from point A to point B changes, so does the distance and direction between each of my feet. When the vector changes, so do my feet. Now that I have a set of right footprints, I'd like to create a corresponding set of left footprints. To do so, I'll use reflection. I'll start by going to the segment tool and clicking and holding the icon. When I do, I see 2 other types of straight edge tools, a ray tool and a line tool. I'll choose the line tool. I'll move on to my sketch and click on point A and point B to create a line through those 2 points. My line is still selected, and while it is, I'm going to change its appearance. I'll go to the Display menu and choose Line Style Dashed. Now my line is differentiated from my segment. I'm going to use this line as a mirror line to reflect all of my feet across. To mark this line as a mirror, I'll move over the line with my arrow tool and I'll double-click. When I do, I see a short animation indicating that my line has been marked. As another option, I could select the line and go to Transform and choose Mark Mirror. Now that my mirror has been marked, I'm going to select all the footprints. I could draw a selection rectangle around them, or just click on each one. With the footprint selected, I'll go to the Transform menu and choose Reflect. All of my footprints have now been reflected across my mirror line. If I drag point A or point B to change my line, I can observe the corresponding change in my footprints. Now I have left and right footprints, but they're not exactly the pattern of footprints I would see if I was walking on the beach. In the next section, we'll learn how to define a custom transformation to create that pattern of what it would look like if I was walking on the beach. Now that I've explored both translations and reflections, I'm going to combine these two transformations into a single transformation called a glide reflect. By doing so, I'll be able to create a pattern of footprints on the sand. First, I'm going to select all of my footprints except the one I started with and choose Edit, Clear Pictures. Now I'm back to my single footprint. With Sketchpad, to make a custom transformation, I need to begin with a single point. I'll choose the Point tool and place a point near my line. I'll label that point as C. Now I'm going to apply a glide reflect to point C. My glide will be a translation, and it will be a translation by the vector AB. Since that vector is still marked, I can simply go to the Transform menu and choose Translate, and click on Translate. And point C is now translated by vector AB. I'll label the translated point as C prime. Now I'd like to take C prime and apply a reflection to it across line AB. To do so, since I already have my mirror line marked, I'll simply go to the Transform menu and choose Reflect. C prime is now reflected, and its reflection I'll label as C double prime. Now if I look at my combination of these two transformations, I've gone from C to C prime with a translation, and from C prime to C double prime with a reflection. So from C to C double prime is a glide and a reflect. To teach Sketchpad this new transformation so I can apply it over and over again, I'm going to select point C and point C prime and go to the Transform menu and choose Define Custom Transform. I'm going to give this transformation a name and call it Glide Reflect and click OK. Now if I look in my Transform menu, I see that I have a new transformation added to it, Glide Reflect. I'm going to go back to my sketch now, and since I've already defined my custom transformation, I no longer need these points to be visible. I'll select all three, C, C prime, C double prime, and choose Display, Hide Points. Now I'll select my picture of the footprint, and I'll choose Transform, Glide Reflect. Notice that my footprint has been translated and reflected, and I see the result of doing both. With my new footprint selected, I'll go back to the Transform menu and choose Glide Reflect again. I can keep going back to the Transform menu to apply this Glide Reflect transformation, or I can notice that there's a keyboard shortcut which allows us to do it more simply. By applying this shortcut over and over again, I can quickly create a whole pattern of feet, and when I'm done, I can go back to points A and B and drag them and see how this affects my Glide Reflect transformation.